Welcome back to the WHHI-TV Daily News. With me now is Discover Card's Ram Subramanian, and we are going to talk about some holiday spending hacks so that we don't spend too much. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me over.
So let's chat about that. I know people want to be generous and they want to give lots of things, but we don't want to go into debt. So what are some hacks that we can kind of take with us through this season?
Yeah, I would say two things. One is make sure that you start by setting a budget and try to shop intermittently. And so I would say most consumers think of holiday spend as an year-end activity, but it need not be that way, right? And so if you can set a budget ahead of time, give yourself time to look for the right deal, stay flexible, that goes a long way in making sure that you can, be within your means, right, within the budget. The second thing I would say is evaluate how you're planning to pay for your holiday purchases. So especially if you find yourself struggling to pay off credit card debt, or you have a lot of balances in credit card, this may actually be a good time for you to consider using a debit card to pay for your everyday expenses, your holiday expenses, just to make sure that you manage overspending.
Right, because I think it's very easy. We can say, oh, well, if I put this on a credit card now, I don't have to pay for it until later, but later can have trouble of its own, and it may not be the easiest to pay off when you think it is going to be. So the debit card is just you're paying right as you go. So I think that's really good advice. Talking about a little bit about a budget, what are some things that people should be cognizant of putting on that budget, and how can they make sure that they're staying on that budget? Because that's maybe the hard part. Maybe setting it's okay, but how do we stay on it?
Yeah, and so I think it's important for you to continue to have create a list on what do you want to buy, right? And then, as I say, create a list, check it twice, and that absolutely applies here as well, right? And so making sure that you are constantly looking at it and monitoring it, and just staying disciplined is the key here, to make sure that you stay within your means and within the budget.
And so we're talking a little bit about spending smart, and obviously one of those things was maybe using a debit card as opposed to a credit card. But are we also, because you also said start early, so are we looking for sales? Are we looking for ways that we can spend less than we might as we get closer to the holidays? What are some of those smart spending tips?
Yeah, I would say a couple of things, right? One is stay flexible in how you're planning to spend. Travel typically is a big expense. You want to make sure if you're flexible with the dates, that certainly goes a long way. Not kind of burdening yourself to spend everything within a course of a couple of days or a couple of weeks certainly helps, right? If you give yourself more time, find for the right, deals out there to spend would be helpful as well. I would also say that also look for meaningful benefits from your bank, right? So as an example, Discover offers cashback debit, which is a very unique program, right? Where if you have a checking account with Discover, the Discover cashback debit, you can actually earn cashback rewards on a debit purchase, which is very unique. So you can actually make the season of giving more of a season of rewarding, right? By getting rewarded with the debit purchases.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. We appreciate it. Some great hacks for the holiday season. Thanks for your advice.
Thank you.
Thanks to everyone on the show today for their insights and contributions. As always, our production team is behind the scenes to make all of this possible. And of course, we are honored that you have chosen to share a part of your day with us. I'm Betsy McDaniel, and we'll see you for the next WHHI-TV Daily News.